Welcome, guys. We're going to be talking about creating and keeping space within self-defense context and how we can use our D.A.D system with that as well. Our first line of defense is always awareness. So wherever we are, knowing things such as where are the exits, where are cover and concealment, where are things I can use as an impromptu defensive tool or force multiplier. Right? Who's around me? How many people are around me? Are there any areas, if I'm running on a trail as an example, are there areas where I need to be aware of where there might be potential hazards there? So awareness is always our first line of defense. Past that, we want to be able to keep space and time. Space and time are our best friends. All right? If my attacker here is super close, I have no space, I have no time to react to anything. What I want is to have him way back here so that I have some time, at least some time here, to talk, to use my voice, to maybe create additional space and prepare for self-defense if I'm going to need it. So let's talk about that real quick. If we have somebody coming up, confronting us to our face, or if they're coming behind us and we happen to hear it, see it with our awareness, and we turn and face them, if somebody's coming straight to us and we feel like maybe this person is a danger, we want to make sure they stop right where they're at. We don't want them any closer. Our rule of thumb is if they're within a leg's distance, if they are closer than that right there, they're too close. Okay? We want them at least at that distance right there. So as Clayton, my partner here, is coming towards me, I can do things like just stop, 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 stop. Don't come any closer. I can even take some steps back. Again, I need to be aware of my surroundings though. All right, where here now I've got space. I've created space, I've maintained space, I've gone to a semi-defensive posture here with my hands up and kind of a modified fighting stance here, telling him to stop. Okay, here. If you keep coming, I'm going to consider you a threat. Oh, see right there, he keeps coming, he's a threat, now I need to do something. And that's one thing we need to understand, guys. As we have this time and space, we also need to know when it's time to use self-defense. And it doesn't need to be after he throws the first punch. Okay, especially here, if we can create and keep space, and I've taken a defensive posture, I've talked to him, I've said stop, and he's still coming, I know right there I have a problem that I need to deal with physically. Okay, so if we're here and I don't have the D.A.D system, and I'm telling him to stop and he keeps coming, if I have at least this space right here, you can back up for me? At least this space right here, as he comes forward, I can use my long-range weapons, my long-range personal weapons, so my kicks. Okay? If he's a little closer here, then I've got to employ my shorter range weapons where I can strike with my hands now. And I can still throw kicks, but we're always fighting in this spectrum of ranges. Okay, so we're trying to keep them at least kicking range off of us. Again, if they encroach on that, if we've told them to stop again, maybe we create a little bit more space ourselves. They encroach on that, we are attacking from there. Okay, if I feel like my life is in danger, I'm in imminent harm, in danger of imminent harm, then I'm going to take action. And understand that that is perfectly acceptable. Okay? If I have the D.A.D system, though, this can become much easier. Okay? If I don't have to throw a punch, I don't have to throw a kick, I would much rather do that. In fact, if I could just walk away, if I could stop him here and leave, that would be the ultimate goal. If I can't, if I'm here and I tell him to stop, from here I can go right to my D.A.D system. I can go from palms out, right? A defensive posture, yet not aggressive, straight to my D.A.D here, okay, if he encroaches on that. And unfortunate for him, he's going to be in one of the best distances here for me to be accurate with this tool. Okay. If, on the other hand, he's closer, for whatever reason he gets here, and this happens, guys, it happens a lot. We don't want to do something, we don't want to feel like we're instigating something, so we let people get too close to us. Here, I've got to create space, so I've got to use the strikes that we'll cover in another video to create that space. So I might use my hands into my kick. Now I've got space here where I can now employ my D.A.D system, okay? But I can still strike with this hand. I can still strike almost close fist here. I can strike here. But what I'm doing here, by having the D.A.D in my left hand, is I'm leaving my dominant hand to strike more effectively with. So I'm going to predominantly strike with my right hand, both legs, maybe my non-dominant hand using the elbow to create space if I need to, but primarily we're leaving this hand, non-dominant hand, to deploy the D.A.D system, our other to strike with. So again, if we're too close here, I might strike, create some space there. Now I'm ready to deploy my D.A.D system. If he approaches here, now I've got that. Okay. One more thing with this, guys. If you can use the light, If you have the light on, it's really easy just to flash that. I can be here, I'm sorry, as soon as I think I might need to deploy it, maybe the first thing I'm doing is light in their face and then going to the dad, especially if we're in low light conditions. That flashlight to the eyes can stop them just long enough for us to be able to spray and effectively get away. If my light is on, guys, I can go ahead and go right to the eyes, from there, right to the spray. Okay, so I can go from one to the other. I can disorient and then I can attack with the spray. And then hopefully there, which is generally the case, you're going to have time to get away. It's very, very difficult to breathe. It's very difficult to even open your eyes for a very long time after being sprayed. Okay, so once we deploy it, if I deploy it and hit my target here, my next move is to get away. All right, I'm not going to stay here and fight him. Yeah, he can't see. Yes, we could probably take him at this point, but at that point we don't need to. We've done what we need to do to go home and be safe, guys. And that's what it's about. It's about going home, being alive, being safe, going back to your family. Another thing we can do at this range, guys, is once I assume that I might have to use my self-defense, I can give the dad that half press down, which is going to alert my emergency contacts as well as anybody with the D.A.D app in their phone within a 1 mile radius. So now I've got my personal contacts that I have set up on my emergency contact list, as well as anybody with the D.A.D system within a 1 mile radius. They all now know there's somebody in trouble. Here's the location. Okay, so from here, when I'm telling him, okay, stop, hey, I don't want you any closer. You're making me nervous right there. Right there is when I'm pushing that. Okay, I'm not waiting till I'm engaged. I'm going to hit that half press button, guys, before I think I need to engage. Okay, once I engage, once the heart level, stress level goes up, I might not even remember that I need to push that, right? Or for whatever reason, I'm trying to push it and it's not working. You can have trouble dialing 911 under stress. So before any of that sets in, guys, make sure as soon as you think it's possible that you're hitting that alert for your contacts as well as anybody else that has the D.A.D app within that 1 mile radius. Make sure you go to your phone, guys, and cancel that alert so you don't have people showing up thinking that you're in trouble and you've already left and there's nothing there for them to do. Okay, so again, make sure you go to your phone and cancel that alert after you deploy your D.A.D system. As always, train hard, stay safe, and have fun.